Good morning and welcome to Tuesday, January 15th mornings with Luann and Tim. I'm not Tim.
I'm not Luann.
He's Tim.
She's Luann.
I am.
It's kind of rainy out.
Yeah, so mild this morning, like -3 on my home.
And normally, you know what's funny is normally I'd be like, yay, the snow is disappearing. But since I spent such an active week in the snow last week, now I'm like, oh, poor Searchmont and Hiawatha. They need more snow.
Yeah, whatever.
That was my old
Hey,
attitude.
we're in. The city of Sault Ste. Marie opting in at City Council last night. We're going to be pot retailers as soon as we can be.
I wonder how soon that can be.
Well, I guess it's going to be a couple of years, I'm thinking.
That long?
Well, there's only 25 that were chosen, and have you heard
In Ontario?
Yet? In Ontario. Have you heard yet where in northern Ontario?
No.
No. See, what they did was they released where people will get the retail outlets.
Right.
But they listed them by name and some funky number right after them. Didn't say where they were, what municipality they're in, so, you know.
What do you mean by name?
Well, like, say, Haas and Pfeffer's Pot. Right? So your first thought is, where's Haas and Pfeffer, and how could I get there? Right? So you know what I mean? So there was all this, 25 of them, and nobody knows where Haas and Pfeffer's is, right? Do you know where Haas and Pfeffer's is?
Just follow your nose.
Follow the nose, right? Yes, follow the nose. Haas and Pfeffer's a little stinky, but
So Haas and Pfeffer's Pot. So
Haas and
Sault Ste.
Pfeffer's
Marie,
Pot.
we're going to have retail outlets.
yes, they've agreed at City Council. 9-1 was the vote.
Who
so
was
that's
the person who
kind of
didn't want it?
fun. Councillor Gardy.
Corey?
Yes, which surprised me as well. I was surprised by that.
I
You
call
know
him
what?
Corey because we're like this. I only met
Yes.
the man during
Yeah.
the debate. I like Corey Gardy.
You know what?
He
He's
impressed
on
me.
it. Yeah, he's
I'm
very,
kind of
very
surprised.
smart guy.
But maybe it was a thing that he did just because he felt like it didn't matter, that he could say what he wanted and it wasn't going to affect the vote.
Well,
you know what I mean?
that
You know what I
could
mean?
be. But also, another part of the story is they've developed a bylaw that is going to treat marijuana in Sault Ste. Marie like cigarette smoke.
Right.
So you can't smoke, for instance, inside. You can't smoke at the mall. You can't. You know.
Well, you can't do that
But
anyway.
Corey Gardy said at one point, well, like saying you can smoke outside is like smoking pot outside is like saying you can walk around downtown with a beer in your hand.
But I thought the law was you can only smoke at your home.
Well, that's it. But they've put in a formal recommendation now for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that's the law anyway. You can't toke in your car. You can't toke at a bar. That sounds like Dr. Seuss. You can toke in a car. You can toke in your bar. You can toke wherever you are.
Just find Haas and Pfeffer. And you'll be a star.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's
Nicely done.
And our budget.
Yeah.
A little bit of an increase for us. Like 3.some%.
What's the cost of living?
I don't know.
It's got to be close to that. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think that's a lot, but you will hear, of course, that it's like outrageous.
Well-
City staff, though, is saying basically that it's just going to keep us par with the services that we've enjoyed in 2018.
I don't think a 3% increase, under 4% to me is reasonable.
I think so, too. I don't think that's...
It's expensive to run a city.
It is, darn it.
And we need more stuff.
Just all the hot water he uses.
And then wait a minute. And that has nothing to do with taxes. Leave me alone. And
Water, PC.
oh,
Wow.
that's not taxes.
Anyway.
Wait, no, you were talking. Here's other things that have gone
Did you
up.
run into Haas and Pfeffer in the parking lot or what?
Other things that have gone up.
What?
The burlesque license. Strippers.
Oh, darn. There goes my retirement plan.
It costs more to wear less.
Like how much more, do you know?
I forget.
Oh.
It said so. And it says, so burlesque too. I have a question. So the burlesque dancers, you know, because we have burlesque
Right.
troops, right? That are
Yes.
not necessarily, they don't, well, sometimes they go down to pasties, but I wonder, I guess it's the
Yeah.
same thing, even if you only show, I wonder.
Well, I wonder if like, burlesque in my mind
Yeah.
is somebody who is a dancer that might be a little bit risque.
But not necessarily
But a
goes
stripper
nude.
is
Takes
somebody who just takes their clothes off.
to music. Strippers.
But they don't necessarily have to be able to dance.
Who? Strippers.
Strippers.
That's
Because I've
very
seen
true.
some of that.
So to own an establishment, the price went up too. Like to have a license, but then the
Oh.
strippers have to have their own licenses. The dancers, the
Have they
performers.
always had to?
Yes,
Oh.
and the price has gone up. So
It's expensive
But I don't
to
even
take
know
your
if we
clothes
have
off.
a. Do we still have a strip joint in Sault Ste.
I don't even know. Studio
We-
10?
It's still there. Oh, it's still going. Okay.
Studio 10? It's still called Studio 10? Yeah, as if you didn't know. Sure.
I didn't know. Who, me?
Yeah.
Also, then cemetery plots.
Oh, no.
Up $95 for a single plot. $950 for a single plot now.
It's also expensive
Double plots
to
up
die here.
$190 more. $1,900 for a double lot. I'm just thinking,
Whoa.
just stack me.
Yeah, you know what? Burn me up and throw me to the wind. Don't even put me in a coffin, because I'll be mad at you. Throw me in a cardboard
And
box.
transit's going up. So they get you coming and going.
Zing, zang.
Transit and cemetery, they get you coming and going. And they're talking.
And wear your clothes on the bus.
And the dog park. They want to put two new dog parks.
more, yeah.
Okay, so listen, I have an issue.
Okay,
Let me have a sip of my coffee first, because I don't want to get too cranky.
Too late. West End is asking for one, and the East End is asking for one. Now,
And do you know
what's
where
wrong with the
Do you know
dog
where
park?
the East End wants to put the dog park?
In your backyard?
No, in Bellevue Park, where we wanted them in the first place.
Well, to match the goose poop? Like, what's the big deal?
So they didn't want us on, I say us because I'm a dog owner.
Yes.
And I loved taking my dogs to Topsail Island on, okay, so I'd get out there and then I'd let them go off leash. Okay, I know that's against the law, but it was fun and everybody loved it and we picked up all our poop and it was well maintained.
So that's awesome.
It was against the law and so everybody
But now
voted.
it's not going to be.
What? No, but it probably won't be Topsail Island. But it's still, so that's fine. It's still going to be in Bellevue Park. Which
Right.
all along I said, why are you going to put a dog park way out on second line second line east, when you want to bring people to the downtown core? So now you're making people get in their cars with their dogs, drive to second line east, and put their dogs in a little fenced in
Second
area.
line east? What do you
Beside the Humane Society, that second line
Oh,
east.
that's where the other one's going.
Right. That's where our dog park is now.
That's
We
the
have an-
only one we have.
Yeah, we have an off-leash dog park beside the Humane Society on Second Line East. But
Gotcha.
to get there, obviously, you need to drive there.
Right.
Because nobody lives around there within walking distance, as opposed to downtown, where so many people live within walking distance of Bellevue Park with dogs. I just think it was I'm glad we have the dog park there. It was a dumb idea in the first place. It should have been in Bellevue Park to begin with.
Whatever happened
And
to
now-
walking your dog or letting the dog out to the backyard and picking up the poop
Not
in the
everybody
spring?
has a backyard.
Okay, so
and
then you
fenced
go
in.
out and walk
People
your
have
dog.
dogs in apartments.
Go
Dog-
around the block.
Dog runs. Dogs like to run. They like to socialize.
Well, then you should not have a dog if you're living in an apartment and your dog can't run, because that's not what dogs were built for. Dogs have to be able to run.
That's why you have a dog park. So you can have a dog and then go to the dog
What if
park.
you don't have a dog park? Espanola doesn't have a dog park. Lots of people have dogs in Espanola.
Anybody can go anywhere and run anywhere in Espanola. There's tons of room.
You have to keep your clothes on though, otherwise they're
On
going
the
to charge
bus.
you more.
Don't know what that means. Keep your clothes on the bus. I have a correction to make, and this one's serious.
Oh, geez, just one?
No, it's a correction. Naloxone. We talked about it yesterday with Mama Bear.
Okay.
A little bit of misinformation got out, and they needed to correct it. I got a phone call. We said the nasal spray only works if the person is like not
Conscious.
is breathing.
Right. Makes
Not
sense.
true. Not true.
Oh.
The nasal naloxone spray you can spray into somebody who doesn't have signs, and it'll still get into their mucous membrane and can still do the trick. So there you go.
Oh, I would never
Injection
have thought that.
and nasal spray both work. There's the naloxone right there.
Oh, really?
The other misinformation was, I believe it was said that you do not need a health card. You do need a health card to get naloxone from your pharmacist or wherever, but you don't have. It's still free, but you have to have a health card.
So, can anybody get an naloxone kit?
Absolutely, and they will
Awesome.
teach you at the pharmacy how to do it.
Really?
Yes.
See, that's great.
But it's really simple. I mean, anybody. It's
Yeah.
and you can put it through clothes. Like if the person.
So it's like an EpiPen-ish?
Kind of ish. I don't know. I haven't tried it myself. Keith took the training.
Uh-huh.
We went to this thing, and but he hasn't shown me how to do it yet. But anyway, it's
Good to
very
know, though, about
very
the
simple.
inhaling.
And very simple. Yeah, the inhaler. So.
Because you know what? I would just
Correct
assume
it.
if somebody isn't breathing that they weren't able to absorb it.
mucous
but they
membrane
can.
will absorb it and will do the trick.
Well, thank you for that information, Mr. Murphy.
Well, thank Desiree Beck. She's the one who actually
Desiree Beck, thank you.
let us know, and she wanted to point out that she loves the work that Connie Rayner Elliott and Soya is doing. She just wanted to make sure that the information was correct.
Right.
So anyway,
Good.
thanks to
Yes,
them.
we want to make sure it's correct too.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? You know who's going to Vegas
Who?
for a residency?
Now who?
You're not going to believe it.
Am I going to go? Am I going to want to go?
No.
I'm not going to want to go.
Drake.
Canadian Drake?
Yes.
With the 17-year-old girlfriend?
Yes.
A residency?
Yes.
Well, good for Drake.
Up to $10 million worth is the contract.
Oh, well, I mean, that's nice and all, but Gaga's getting 100 mil.
Yeah, but it's Gaga.
He's getting 1/10 of what Gaga gets. That's not bad for him.
Yeah.
Good for you, Drake. You're
At the Wynn Casino.
Behave yourself.
But he's such a pop person.
Icon, yeah.
Like more.
Not an icon. He's a pop. He's not an icon.
No, he's not an icon. But I don't want to say rap, but like very modern music. So it's interesting. I think he's probably the first one of the fairly high name entertainers that is going to take a residency.
Of that style of music
that
and
style
stuff.
of music.
I think you're probably correct about that, Luann.
Yes. Pardon? Did you say I was right?
Listen, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to visit with one of the Special Olympians, or some of the Special Olympians.
Yay.
Alex did an interview. And then also later on, Karen Zachary from the Silverleaf Writers Guild, and she's a local author, will be visiting us live on Mornings with Luann and Tim. Stay with us, please. Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim, and I have as my guest this morning Alex Parr.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Alex. Game on. When does your show air, Alex?
Fridays at 6:30, only on TV.
Oh, you're good. Mm-hmm. And you've been interviewing, because we've been featuring. This is our second week.
Second one, yes.
Okay. So last week we featured the
Curling team.
This is for the Special Olympics, which of course is coming to Sault Ste. Marie, January 31st. February 1st, February 2nd.
Yes,
okay.
Opening ceremonies on January 31st, the actual competitions taking place February 1st and 2nd.
And all over the place. I mean, curling is obviously at the curling rink on Northern Avenue.
Yep, GFL's getting involved, Hiawatha's involved.
I know that I'm volunteering to do the figure skating at the John Rhodes.
Yes, I am volunteering as well. I'm just not sure which sport I'm getting my hands in on yet. Hiawatha, yes.
That's where we were for the, we went for a press release to go cross-country skiing instead.
Yes, that was a little different. We got to have a little bit of fun during that.
But we got to see where the athletes will be competing.
Exactly. They're going to be doing the snowshoeing out there, I believe it was.
Is that where it is?
Too.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay, where's the cross-country skiing happening?
Cross-country skiing? I'm not, it's got to be Searchmont. I'm pretty certain.
You think so?
I'm pretty certain.
We should find out.
Yeah, we probably should.
I mean, the Alpine is definitely...
Yes.
Because we did an interview with Carter Simpson.
Yep.
We're going to feature that later on.
Next
week?
This one today,
What are we watching today?
We are watching the snowshoeing team, excuse me.
Oh, so we were out there already, so we know where they were.
Yes, they were practicing at Fort Creek, and then one of their teammates wasn't able to make it to that practice, so I caught up with him at the John Rhodes.
What's it been like for you going to meet all these athletes?
It's been so fun, and I've learned so much about the actual Special Olympics. Like, for example, people have wanted to volunteer to become coaches for these athletes, but these coaches have been with the athletes for the last year to 2 years preparing for these games.
Ready.
You can't just sign up right away. These coaches for each team have been dedicated to this set of athletes for at minimal a year and have been working with that same team, and I think that's amazing too.
It is.
For some of these athletes, they're not going to want that change going in. They're going to want that nice, safe environment with the coaches they're familiar with, and to get that dedication out of the coaches is fantastic.
And age-wise, what have you been seeing? I mean, I have no idea what the span is. Are there age limits, or do you know?
As far as I know, there isn't an age limit. I just interviewed a 12-year-old, actually, Miguel, who is going to be coming up right after this interview here, and that blew me away. I couldn't believe you could be that young and participating.
12?
Yeah.
And a 12-year-old Olympian snowshoeing. Now, and I was asking when we were out there, I was actually asking our friends at Hiawatha about what that race is going to be like. I said, is it going to be like, is it team, is it timed, or is there like, what do you call it when you hand something off to somebody? When you're running and you have, when you hand off.
Not a marathon, a relay.
Yeah, was it a relay?
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome. And they said, no, it's not a relay, it's actually individual racing. Right. So, you're getting an idea of how long these kids have been training? Kids, I guess there's adults too.
Yeah, of course. It's been over the course of a year to 2 years. Some of them have snowshoed, for example, longer than being prepared for this. Like for curling, for example, most of their families have curled their entire life, so they've been doing it as well. But now they see that opportunity to compete, and they've taken full advantage of it.
Hey, what about if you're a snowshoer and there's no snow? How do you train? Is it just indoor training? I wonder.
I guess it would have to be like dry land or something.
Probably
Anything involving your legs, right?
Fitness, endurance, that kind of
Like
stuff.
Miguel, for example, I had to catch up with him at the John Rhodes, and that was post a swimming lesson. So that's all your muscles. He's been swimming lessons, snowshoeing, and he was ready as ever when I saw him.
Wow. Carter's so excited with the downhill
Oh,
skiing
yeah.
too. And then the curling, you've interviewed the curlers already.
I interviewed the
That
curlers.
aired last week.
Yes.
Yeah. How many on that team? Do you know?
5 on the team. There was only 4 that day.
Okay.
They have 4 that'll play, and 1 is the spare. And as any curling team is, it's the exact same. And yeah, they've been training for a while as well. Coaches that have been with the team for 2 years.
You got to have that coach for that period of time, though, because they have to understand what the athletes, especially with the Special Olympics, because there are going to be certain things that they do extremely well,
Yes.
and certain things that may be more challenging for each
Exactly.
individual athlete. So you've really got to gauge that training, right? So now the events are. People want to go and see these events. How is that going to work? I don't even know. Is there a price to get into the Olympics?
Nothing. Everything you want to go and watch is completely free. So if it's at the GFL Memorial Gardens and there's figure skating, you can go ahead and watch and cheer on the athletes from the Sioux from all over Ontario, and we encourage you to do that 110%.
Are they actually skating at the GFL? Because I'm going to the John Rhodes.
I'm not entirely sure how they're delegated yet. The final schedule isn't released
I
yet.
hope they're not sending me to the wrong rink just to get rid of me, are they? Because Tim Murphy volunteered.
Yeah, go to
Send
the,
me to the wrong rink.
Go to the John Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm going to the John Rhodes. That's for sure where I'm going for
Okay.
this figure skating. So,
Oh, I'm getting told the opening ceremonies is the GFL, so we know that for sure.
okay. And then closing ceremonies, I think that we are being invited on TV is being invited to hand out some medals.
Yes, I'm hoping that I put my name in. Let's see if I make the cut or not, because I would love to. That would be such an experience.
Well, especially if I'm going to be there watching them figure skate, to be able to actually meet the medalists
Right?
on stage and go, congratulations.
The
That's
whole
kind of a
circle,
thrill.
see them compete, and then give out the medals. That would be so sweet.
For sure. Volunteerism is a huge part of this too, isn't it?
Yes, they're still looking for volunteers. So if you would like to, head over to the Special Olympics website, send it a Google search, and then see what you can do to get involved yourself.
Yeah, you need to get a police check, but they can make that happen fast.
Oh yeah, of course.
They can fast track you for getting a police check.
Yes.
And there's no expense, which normally you have to pay to get a police check. They'll do it for you for the Special
I
Olympics.
didn't even know that. Look at Tim.
See, I did, yeah. Alex,
Yes?
thank you for conducting these interviews
goodness,
and for
of course.
sharing the interviews with us here. So you can watch them here. Well, you're going to see the interview next that Alex did with the snowshoers.
Yep.
Next week, alpine skiers.
Yep.
And then we wrap up with
Cross-country skiing, I believe.
Cross-country skiers. And you can also, of course, check all of these interviews and other segments with Alex Parr. Game on!
Friday
nights at 6:30
Only.
on ONNtv.
Whew, perfect.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more with Luann and Tim after this.
Fortune, snowshoeing.
My name is Miguel and I'm doing snowshoeing. Practicing. We go out for about an hour at Cattery every Saturday.
Walking once a week when I come here. Really excited.
I'm pretty excited, but I'm gonna be missing school. I'm excited about missing school due to games, but I like going to school.
Just to get a medal.
I'm trying to get the gold medal while having fun.
My name's Dave Rankin, and I'm the local head coach of snowshoeing, and I'll be one of the coaches going to the provincial games here in Sault Ste. Marie. I've been doing the snowshoeing for almost 20 years, about 18 years. Really nice just to see people get involved in a sport and grow in a sport, and they have the opportunities to compete and develop. It's really nice to see.
My name is Jen Sweezy, and I'm one of the coaches for the Northeast snowshoeing team. Kind of fun. These athletes are really gung-ho, and they all seem to really love snowshoeing. So it's fun to just get out there and have a lot of fun with them and getting a good workout. I think it's really important to instill in the athletes that they're able to do anything. So snowshoeing, I mean, it's a universal sport. Anyone can get out there and enjoy it. So it's really just trying to keep them positive and enjoy themselves.
Okay, that is an awesome shot.
That's
but
an awesome shot.
that's another issue I have with.
Oh gosh, another one.
Well, with the pond, what do they call that? The splash pad? I believe the splash pad should have been in Clerk Park, because then skating trail from the thing could end up at the splash pad, because in Toronto, their splash pads, they turn them into rinks in the wintertime. So
That's a
that
good
could have
idea.
led to an entire rink in Clerk Park. Nobody thinks like I do. They will be dimming the
Thank
lights.
goodness.
They will be dimming the lights on Broadway tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Broadway legend Carol Channing passed away at the age of 97 years old. There
Gosh,
she is.
look at
Of course, she
her.
was best known for playing the role of Dolly Levi in Hello, Dolly on Broadway, and around the world, over 2,000 performances in that role. She also originated the role of Lorelei in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Of course, in the film it
Oh.
was Marilyn Monroe, but the originator of the role was Carol
Oh, I had
Channing,
no
where she
idea.
sang the song "A Kiss on the Hand, Maybe Quite Continental, but Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend."
I love that.
I impersonate Carol Channing. Do we have a picture of me as Carol? There I am as Carol
Look at
Channing.
you.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Yes, I was Carol Channing. It was the Christmas concert for the Sioux Symphony Orchestra. It was like a variety show that Richard Kim put together, and I did a number. Keith created the costume, and I was Carol Channing. Christmas Carol.
How did you do the cleavage?
That's for me to know, and you never to find out.
Wow, that's-
it's contouring.
Oh.
You push
Yeah,
them,
yeah.
you push them up, and then you contour.
Contour.
It's all
Yeah,
smoke and mirrors,
here.
folks. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Here and then here.
Can I tell my favorite Carol Channing story?
Yes, you can.
Okay, my favorite Carol Channing story, after doing Hello, Dolly for over 2,000 performances and having many, many directors, the original director was Gower Champion, very famous film choreographer, Broadway choreographer. Anyway, he was the original director, and after so many performances, Carol would often tell the directors what she wanted to do. So, for instance, there was a director who had been the dance captain at one point, and he was telling Carol, "Now, Carol, at this point, you're going to come down stage and cross stage right and sit down." And Carol said, "I distinctly remember Gower saying I was to walk downstage and go under the lamppost." So this would go on and on through the rehearsal process. "Now, Carol, you're going to sit on the chair at the dining room table. I distinctly remember Gower saying I was to stand on this line."
She became a diva.
Well, she just thought that, and she always used, "I distinctly remember Gower saying." Well, this poor director was at his wit's end, and he found out that in the archives at American Actors Equity Association was an original script from Hello, Dolly with Gower Champion's handwriting in it from when he had directed the show.
Oh.
The director got his hands on this script, and he was ready. And the next rehearsal, he got there, and Carol, he said, "Now, Carol, at this point, you're going to walk down stage left, and you're going to blah, blah, blah." And she says, "I distinctly remember Gower saying I was to cross down right and sit on the sofa." And he said, "Well, as it turns out, Carol, I happen to have Gower's original notes right here, and it says you're crossed down left." And she said, "Gower's dead, dear. We're doing it my way." So long, dearie. Carol Channing.
Oh my gosh, break a leg on your way up.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. What an icon. What a legend.
97 she was.
Yeah, gosh, she did something right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize she was 6 feet tall. You said.
6 feet tall. Yeah, she was a 6 foot tall
She was
woman.
like a stick.
She was, and she was a
beautiful.
comedian anyway.
Yeah, she was.
Raspberries.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, what do you got? Anything?
You know what?
No.
Halftime show at the Super Bowl. Maroon 5 been confirmed. Travis Scott and Big Boy. Well, apparently now they're all being asked petition-wise to not perform in support of the Take a Knee campaign.
Oh. They want to cancel the whole halftime show?
They don't want them to perform. They want them to protest and not show up.
Just. Oh.
Politics, music.
Oh.
I don't, in my opinion, You know what? I think that that's a choice that a performer needs to make on a personal level, and I don't think it's up to other people to put their judgments on a musical performer. That's not what he's there for. What's your call?
That's
a tough one, isn't it?
I'd have to think about that. Really, I would. I mean,
Don't hurt yourself.
There's smoke coming out my ears right now. No, I honestly, you know what? As a performer, somebody suggesting that to me, I don't think I'd like that. If I came up with the idea, or I would just say no. I would just say no. I'm taking a knee. I'm saying no.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a hard call.
It's a personal thing. Speaking of personal things, we have news coming up.
It's a personal thing. Well, the news is personal to us because it's local.
I read it, so it's personal.
And
to
it's
me.
local.
And it's local, yokel.
So don't go anywhere and find out what's going on in Sault Ste. Marie on Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim. Lou has the news next. Tuesday, January the 15th, and famous birthdays today. Charo, remember the Spanish Charo? Flamenco, amazing flamenco guitarist.
Yes.
Yeah, classically trained, but also known as an actress and comedian.
She lived in America for 185 years from Mexico.
Never lost her accent.
Spain, and never ever could be understood speaking English.
Love Boat. She was on the Love Boat a lot.
Yeah,
also,
she was with the hair. She was the first Ariana Grande.
She was, and she shares a birthday with Joan of Arc. Both hot stuff. You ever see Joan of Arc blow out her birthday candles?
Can I take this dress off? It's catching.
What do you have?
I have, you know the show The Family Guy?
He's a family guy.
I don't watch it, but I know of it, of course.
I love it.
Apparently it's very clever. They're actually going to be phasing out the LGBTQ joke line. They're phasing that out because they say that the culture is different now, so they're not making jokes anymore about that.
But Stewie, what about Stewie? The little baby boy, because there's all this innuendo that he's a homosexual.
Oh.
Even though he's a baby, because he has a man's voice. And he's British and affected. And
maybe they just won't make jokes about.
They can. I think it's funny.
I saw a picture, though, attached to this post, and the main guy, the big fella, Dad, I'm thinking Family Guy himself, was wearing a pair of trunks, and a man was hugging him from behind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
so I don't know if there
that kind of stuff is...
Yeah, so they're going to stop doing that.
They're going to get away from the gay jokes.
Yeah.
LGBTQ
plus 2.
Never offended me, but anyway. More cartoon news. We talked about Corner Gas.
Yes.
The animated version. And Prime Minister Trudeau's making a cameo appearance as a cartoon character.
As have other prime ministers.
Harper did it. And Chrétien, maybe? I don't even know about Chrétien. I don't think Chrétien did. But Chrétien did the stuff with The Rant, Canadian author, comedian. This Hour Has 22.
Rick Mercer?
Rick Mercer, yeah. Remember Chrétien would go on Rick Mercer.
Oh, no, I didn't remember.
Well, they all had senses of humor. Anyway, the point is that after we announced yesterday that Trudeau was going to be made into a cartoon character, I got a message from Keith saying it's already been done. I'd forgotten. He reminded me and he sent me the pictures of the cartoon character of Justin Trudeau from the American President, or Our American President.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is no Donald Trump.
That is the
I'm just saying.
I love
it.
Listen, can I just tell you, if I actually saw Justin Trudeau in a bar playing a guitar like that, I would be like throwing money at him.
Me too. I think he's so awesome. He's such an attractive man.
Even as a cartoon.
He's very, very
I wonder if he'll be cute as a cartoon with Brent Butt, because that's the Americans making him all cute like that.
Yeah.
What will the Canadians do to him?
I wonder.
And there was some lady was like, our taxpayer dollars, and he's going in and doing this.
Oh, for goodness sake, have a sense of humor.
He did it in his office. He didn't even have to go. When Harper did it, he had to go actually like on set, I think, with them.
You know what? If they produce another picture of him taking his shirt off, I'll donate money. I'm kidding. That's a joke.
You know what? If Donald Trump threatened to take his shirt off, they'd probably get the money for the wall.
And put him behind it.
He should try that. He should try that
Let's
tactic.
do that.
If you
Let's start that campaign.
Every time I don't get $1 billion, I'm undoing another button. They'd have $23 billion so fast.
So fast.
Yeah.
Done, and I don't know, done.
Yeah. Well, because they want to save the mushroom market, you know.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not touching that. Mission
Nobody wants
Impossible,
to.
are you a big fan? Mission Impossible movie?
Of the movie, I don't know. Well, no.
Yeah, the
I used to
movies?
watch the series.
Me too.
With Cinnamon.
Yeah, back in the old days.
What's the character's
Tom
name?
Cruise, of course, is,
movie. Is he-
has confirmed that they are working on 2 more. And they'll be released in the summers of 2021 and 22.
It's going to be like Rocky 27.
Yeah. How many
Sylvester-
times can he bash into a building and break his ankle? That's what the title of the next one is. It's a little long. I said Tom. It's a little bit long, honey.
Sorry.
But he's insisting, so.
Doesn't listen to you.
No, nobody does.
He's short. Did you know that?
Yes, he is.
Like 5 foot under 7. Like 5'6" ish.
Yeah.
I was an extra in the movie. Did I tell you that story?
No.
I was an extra in the movie Cocktail that was filmed in Toronto.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I was just an extra. But there was a fight scene. So he starts off on like a catwalk in this art gallery scene, and I'm one of the patrons in the art gallery. And you can see my bulky green sweater. And anyway, we do the one shoot where he's on the catwalk, and we all have to be milling around. And then, of course, there's a change, and we're all going to go back to the waiting room where the extras sit. And he has to come down and get in his position because they're going to film like a fight scene.
Right.
So he was coming down, and we were all filing out, and I bumped shoulders with him. Tom Cruise.
I love Tom Cruise.
Very large nose. Because he was...
Really?
Yeah, because we bumped and I was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, oh!
So he's taller if he goes like this.
Yeah. You're on fire today.
Aren't
Just
I,
like
though?
Joan of Arc.
Aren't
Okay.
you the lucky one?
I started. You finished. Tell them who's next.
Okay, I don't know who's coming up
Carrie
next.
Zachary.
Is coming up next.
Yeah, from the Silverleaf Artists Group. No, Writers Group.
Writers Group.
And she's a local author.
He doesn't know who's coming up next either. Please stay with us, though. Mornings with Luann and Tim will be right back.
Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim and my friend Karen Zachary. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Tim.
You were here for Women in the Wind. How did that go with the calendars?
Good. We're just wrapping up everything, and I think we're at approximately $3,000.
You raised that for Arch?
Yes, for pediatric Arch.
For pediatric Arch, right?
Yes.
Are there still calendars available in case it's only the middle of January?
There's still calendars available, and they can get a hold of me at on my cell at 257-2409.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Facebook probably, or do Women in the Wind? You don't have a Facebook page, do
Not
you?
the local chapter, which is Northern Curves of Steel.
Northern Curves of Steel. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it. I love that.
Yeah.
But now you're here today for another reason.
Correct.
You're here because there is a new group of writers in town that are getting together. On the show, I had Jessica Trudell Skype in from.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
she did a Skype when they were coming to town to do the thing at the Roberta Bondar Pavilion or whatever. One of their first introductions to Sault Ste. Marie.
That was when they had the book fest?
Yeah, they had the book fest. I think it was part of Art in the Park, or it was through the Arts Council. So anyway, Jessica Trudell lives in Timmins, and she started this thing called Silverleaf Writers Guild, and now there's a chapter starting up in the Sioux called Silverleaf Artists Group.
Right.
You're not a guild yet because there's a membership involved, and you're still getting your feet wet. Am I right about that?
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about how this all came to be.
So Jessica came down, and there was an email that went out to a few of us that had been involved in previous activities in town. So we met at she had a thing at the boiler room in
the
machine shop.
Correct.
Correct.
Love it there.
So all different genres. Some of us, guy writes business books, memoirs.
Would that be Nevin?
Yes.
Nevin. We've had him on the show too.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, Nevin Bakonjic.
Nevin, historical fiction, daily humor that you might recognize
Like
from
Tom Mills, maybe.
Yes.
What about? Do you have poets?
Yes.
Poetry,
So,
yeah.
poetry, and
memoir. Well, what do you call this, Karen?
That's nonfiction.
Nonfiction. This is Karen's book. This is incredible. It's called That's Not Happening. So I can just hear your voice saying that. How to find humor and strength in a misdiagnosis. Do you want to just briefly tell the story of what's behind this?
So the Coles Notes version is in 2014, I was told I had cancer and a year to live, and it was a mistake. It was actually a vitamin deficiency. So that's the long and the short of it.
I've known Karen since her son, Josh, performed in The Music Man a gazillion years ago. And I was telling the story, but one day you came, we live in the same neighborhood, you came into my house, I didn't recognize Karen. You had a cane, your skin was gray, and you told me then that you had been diagnosed with terminal cancer. And we were like, what? And I love what you wrote on the back here. When doctors diagnosed her with a year to live, Karen Davidson Zachary knew that couldn't be right, but convincing everyone else would take time she didn't have. You fought that diagnosis, and you finally found out that it wasn't right. You were how close to having stem cell?
2 weeks before I was due to have a stem cell, they finally figured it out.
And what would stem cell have done for a transplant?
It would have killed me because my body wouldn't have recognized it. It would have only tried to fight the cancer, and I didn't have cancer. I just had a vitamin deficiency. So the stem cell would have went in looking for it and said, I don't know what's going on here, but you don't have cancer. So
How to Find Humor and Strength in a Misdiagnosis.
Yeah.
Great read.
Thank you.
So now you're all getting together. You form the group.
The group. It's been really great for all of us because some of us are self-published. Some of us actually have publishers, so it's been good for all of us to figure out how that part of it and the marketing end of things.
Well, now that's, you and I were talking before the show,
Yeah.
and I was saying I can imagine as an author anywhere, first of all, but it's particularly when you're in Northern Ontario, how tricky it must be to try to market your book. So this is one thing, the actual guild in Timmins, they have a resource, it's sort of what would you call it, a co-op almost, where
Yeah.
you can use their...
You can use
Explain
their, well, they have Facebook page, but not only that, they allow you to use their resources to, you can have your own website right on their resources. They help you actually
They link and everything.
link
They
everything
actually
together.
help you create?
Yeah, they'll help you do it, and you can put your blog on their
Your blog on their blog.
on there, so everything links together. So if you have a blog, it all comes back to that, and you wouldn't have to pay for it, which is a lot of money if you're a self-published author.
Right.
correct?
So
Yeah.
there's strength in numbers, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's a real marketing tool being
It
a
is.
member of this. But what you have to do is sort of suss it out locally and figure out whether people are willing to invest in an actual guild.
The couple of the members that we have in the group right now, they've paid. There's a fee. I believe it's $40 a year. I don't want to say
Okay,
for
but
sure
there's a
that
fee.
is, but there is a fee per year. But if you weigh that out annually and what you're paying in web fees,
Yeah.
like if you have GoDaddy or whatever it is that you're
Right.
using for that, then it would
It
more
works
than
out.
make it out.
More than makes it up.
Makes it up.
So if people are interested, because the other thing that has blown me away since we started doing this show and I started doing these interviews is the number of local authors that we have.
yes.
There's so as you mentioned, in so many different types of books, right?
Correct.
So if people are interested and they want to find out more, are you having a meeting soon where they could go? Or
We're having one Wednesday night, and it starts at 7 at
That's
Shabby. Tomorrow.
At Shabby Motley,
Yeah.
down on Queen Street.
So far, that's where we've been having them.
It's a great place to
so
meet.
It is. It's relatively quiet.
And very conducive to those kinds of gatherings
Yes.
where you want to sit and
So far, that's where we've been having them. I think if it gets too big, if we get too many people,
Sure.
we'd have to probably move from there. But I think it's very conducive to talking, and you can get a coffee or a bite to
one of
eat
their
or
great
whatever.
treats. Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So the question right now is, are you actually going to form a guild where there's a membership? This will be discussed.
This will be discussed.
Okay,
yes.
but in the meantime, it's still a great way to get together as a local author and discuss what the challenges you're facing.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't know like we've all done different things, right?
Right.
We've all done different things to market the book, how we've got it out. Mine, Kohl's has been very good to me in the mall. It's on Amazon. I've went all over the place. Like I've traveled a lot of places, and Indigo and Kohl's have been they're very good. But what's interesting to me is you'll find a lot of authors don't want to get up and talk about the book.
So you've got, does it also help you get sort of confidence when it comes to speaking and marketing too? When you
Correct.
talk to other people?
Absolutely.
Well, it sounds very worthwhile. Karen Davidson-Zachary. Thanks for being on the show again.
Thanks a lot,
It's
Tim.
always nice to see you.
Always nice to see you as
And
well.
so if you are interested at Shabby Motley, tomorrow, that's Wednesday, the 16th of January at 7 p.m. And we'll be back to say goodbye with Luann right after this.
Thank you.
Well, I enjoyed today's show. How did you do?
I think it was awesome.
If we do say so ourselves.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's
Lots
Wellness
of good information today.
was, and tomorrow's Wellness Wednesday, so we'll have
Yes.
even more. I almost said awesome information. I never say awesome. That's your word. Well, also, it will be awesome though.
You were awesome. Thanks for being awesome.
You're awesomer.
And thank you for being so awesome as well.
See you tomorrow.